Alright everybody, it is Craft Dad, Mr. Zach here again. I am going to try and make a football shirt for my wife here, which is going to be just created from scratch with some shapes, but I just kind of wanted to show you how I was going to do this. You can see right now I'm putting a couple of circles together. Kind of got a nice little lineup right there. I might actually need to go just a little bit more. Make a fatter football here. This is going to have a football on it. It's going to say something to the effect of, "I'm just here for the food." I need to align these now. I'm going to center them vertically. Ooh, I had that pretty close. I'm going to slice them apart. And that gives me my football right there. I'm just going to select all of that, delete it, rotate my football a little bit, start out with another circle, duplicate said circle. I've got a little recording bar right in my way. There we go. Make it just a little. There we go. I think maybe a little bit further out. So we've got two overlapping circles. They're not quite lined up. I select them both. I slice them. Take all this stuff away. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. And now we have this little thing. What is that little thing? I'm going to turn it to white. I'm going to grab me a square. We're going to select both of those again. I'm going to slice it. And we're going to come down here. We're going to slice it again. Just take a look, see how it lines up. Still a little too big, so I want to cut a little bit more off of it. Hook those two together. Oops, I've hooked way too many pieces together at that point. Remember, you can only slice two. So now I'll select just two. And slice lights up again. And we are sliced. Took a little bit off. That's kind of what I want right there. Change the background of that to brown, just so it looks like a football for us. Boom. Things don't always have to be perfect. They just have to represent what we want them to represent. I'm going to take a little square here. I'm going to shrink it. Click the unlock button. Make some little rectangles here. Lock that back up. Redundantly select it. Duplicate it 4 times. Select all of those. And change the color to white. Apparently I have to do it one by one. The cool thing is when your project colors are on top, they just automatically show right there. So I'm going to try and take my rectangle over there. Rotate it just a touch. Take my other rectangle. Rotate it just a touch. My other rectangle. Rotate it just a touch. And one more. If that's not the best looking football you've ever seen, I suggest you download some clip art. Things don't always have to look perfect. So now I will just weld those together, and now we've got seams for my football. I can kind of adjust them a little bit if I need to. Shrink things up just a bit. If you unlock it, it'll deform the shape a little bit and give you a little bit more shape to it. I mean, since the shirt's comical, we kind of want the football to be comical. The font that I'm going to use is going to be rather comical. And it just gives that whole vibe of, I don't really care about the Super Bowl. What's all the big deal about? I'm just here for the food. And the A.R. Christie was the one that I really liked earlier. So shrink my screen a little bit so I have more room to work. I'll go ahead and unattach all of the letters here. Select them as the words that I want them in. Maybe. My trackpad is not cooperating with me right now. So the thing that I don't like about this particular font is that the kerning on the F to the O is always a little weird, so I just bring it a little bit closer together. I might even drop one of these O's. Probably this one, drop it just a bit so it's just a little off-centered. And it looks a little funnier. When I'm happy with it, I'll weld it. I like that one as it is. Whoa, except that. Magical power of the undo button. Go ahead and weld that one. This one has that weird space between the F and the O. We call that kerning, when the kerning is off. Kerning is letter to letter. Leading is line to line. They called it leading because you would put lead strips between the letters when you were actually printing before there were computers and such. And I'm just circling the words. This will allow me to adjust them size-wise, word by word. I can rotate them. I can do what I want to do. Because I like and I want it a little bigger. I want my football. Whoops. Just for convenience sake, I'm going to attach those two right now. Whoops. That's the difference between attach and group. Attach will change the colors so that they are the same color, and they will locate on the same mat. Group will just make them move together. So I like that. I like my just kind of over the football. We'll do here somewhere around there. For the food. So we know that it's football, but how do we know that there's food? We want nachos. How am I going to do nachos? With basic shapes. Kind of played with this a little earlier, so I'm not just doing this on the fly. Rotating the heart. I'm going to duplicate a bunch of hearts. Right now I've got 5. I've got 5 hearts. And five might be just a little bit too many. I'll rotate that one just a little bit so it comes down We'll delete these two just because it's getting confusing with so much junk on the screen. I need a nacho triangle, right? Doritos, most famous nacho chip in the world. I like to unlock it, play with the shape a little bit, lock it, kind of rotate it, resize it, unlock it, mess with it some more, and it tends to really distort that shape a little bit. So I like how that's looking for my nacho. But what is a nacho without cheese? So we need to... Oops, remember the rule about slicing? This just isn't where I want it right now. I'll take one more heart out. Sometimes things are just happy little accidents. Yes, I stole that from Bob Ross. Gonna weld those together. Now you probably know what I'm gonna do with this. Put those two together, slice them. I want that to be back together. I did not mean to take that particular layer apart, but just for the sake of this tutorial and keeping it brief, I'll probably fix that a little bit later for my shirt, but I'm going to weld those back together. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit, we're just going to undo all of that real fast. Sorry, I get into a mode and yeah, we are pre-sliced right now. Slice it, remove that, and then weld that layer together. Change this layer to, what color is nacho cheese? I'm gonna go with candy corn. Whoops, I picked the wrong selection. We're still gonna go with candy corn. And then we'll make this some other form of yellow. Doesn't matter because we're all gonna switch it in the vinyl anyway, right? I'll have to figure out how to make nachos in vinyl. Look, it's a Dorito. Look, it's a red corn, or red corn chip, blue corn chip. Honeysuckle looks perfect for right now, just to kind of show. I need to arrange the cheese and move it to the front. Now we've got a nacho. And what else do I want? Maybe a drop of nacho cheese. The way I always do drops is I just take a heart. Heart is like my favorite shape. I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to take a circle. Expand the circle just a little bit. I'm going to kind of line them up so that the curves match almost perfectly. Whoa, and we lose the screen. More mountains of cheese. And we want to weld this together. I want to make it candy corn. The most beautiful color names ever on the Cricut. We can unlock it. Make just some sort of like drip coming off of it too. Maybe even duplicate that, so that you know that it is a drip. Maybe we'll put the small one up here and a larger one down here. And then line that up a little better. Again, when we get to the vinyl and we layer all of this stuff, it doesn't really matter, because that's where we're really going to get into this stuff. Weld it. Nope, did not want to weld it. Group it. See, I'm still new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. Make a smaller little nacho. And what are you here for? I'm just here for the food. So when I end up posting this, I'll probably post a picture of the finished shirt too. But that's how I do some simple clip art stuff and just kind of fly through it. Hope you enjoyed this. It's probably a little long for a video, but there we go.